Hey y'all, it's me. So Doc and I are up early this morning, and you know what I'm drinking, but I always gotta show you. Coffee! I tell y'all, I really enjoy a great cup of coffee, and Doc made the coffee this morning. Um, and he put a little cinnamon and a little nutmeg in it, with the pumpkin creamer. Um, I just love a great cup of coffee. So I'm drinking my coffee, and Doc is in the California room. So I come out here to say good morning and see what he doing, right? So he don't hear me, and then I realize he got on his earphones. Wait a minute, y'all. He got his earphones on watching a crime show on his iPad. But he got the big TV on and he watching the football game. And then he has the Alexa on and he listening to music. Cause he's smooth like that, right? So then of course I started thinking about some of the things that um, we can do and multitask and get done. And that reminded me of a story about us when we were married. I want to say maybe a year and a half. So this is welcome to episode. This is welcome to episode. Do you know the
Yep.
episode? What?
35.
35. Okay. Of this conversation really happened.
Yep.
So I started thinking about what just happened with Kamala because you know how passionate I was about her winning, and of course she didn't, and they will peacefully transfer power. And I talked about how it was shocking to me that people who love me would not see me as a woman and vote for someone who doesn't care about women's health care. That was my first passion about why I was choosing Kamala. Now, you might say, well, how does that all run together? And yeah, my mind's all over the place because I was so disappointed in the election. But Doc and I were married about a year and a half. And when we got married, we wanted, how many kids did we want when we got married,
We
babe?
desired to have 6.
6. So we had talked about this before we got married. Matter of fact, we talked about multiple things before we got married because we didn't want to go into our marriage blind about what the other person expected.
Right.
So I wanted 6 kids, he wanted 6 kids, and the Lord blessed us with 4. However, the reason I was so passionate about Kamala and her restoring healthcare rights is because um, our first attempt at having a family failed, and that could have been me who could not get care.
Yep.
But thank God I lived in a time when I could get care. So really, that really could have been me that didn't get the health care that was needed. But it was devastating, y'all, because at the time on this particular morning, Doc and I had decided that we were going to have lunch together. So I had to drive him to work because at that time we only had one vehicle. And I drove him to work, and I was going to come back home, get ready, and meet him for lunch, pick him up for lunch, and we'd go to lunch, and then I would stay in the area where he was working because where we lived was a drive. So anyhow, I dropped him off a normal morning and got back on the freeway, and I felt like warm, and I was like, wait a minute, I know my water didn't break, right? Because I was expecting. And so I was right by the Kaiser, the Kaiser. Remember, I went to the Kaiser first because we were with Kaiser at that time. And they said that they couldn't help me. I said, but wait a minute, I'm bleeding, I'm in pain. You can see that something's happening that's not supposed to be happening if you're expecting. Well, they said I had to drive to Kaiser Sunset. I was like, what? Hollywood? And I'm in West Covina? Anyway, that's a whole nother story, okay? But I remembered that Queen of the Valley was right there in West Covina. And I went to Queen of the Valley, and they immediately admitted me and gave me health care that saved my life. But we lost our baby. So that's why I was so passionate about Kamala. And I've never shared that story. It's just been me and Doc's story. And it was a real difficult time. Now we are really going to be in a time where we have to be careful with our health as women, because we have a new administration that's coming in that doesn't care about women's health care. Now, I'll have access, but that doesn't mean that everybody around the world will have access. And when I vote thinking about my fellow man, not just thinking about myself and the access that we have. But this is what hurt me most, to find out my family members voted for Trump.
A couple, yes. Not everybody.
Not all of them, but some of them. And I am so passionate about being able to speak to my family in love. And I still love them. But I see you. I see you. You didn't believe that a woman could run the country. Okay? You forgot about your mom who ran your household. You forgot about your sister. You forgot about your great-grandma. You forgot about Big Mama. You forgot. And this is what we get. So we already getting robocalls of racist rants. They're already talking about it's gonna be nasty and we're deporting people. They already talking about going after Letitia James and putting her in jail. Do you see what's happening here? I'm not sure you did. I know to my family, you might be afraid to speak out, but I'm Claire and Bobby Polk's daughter, and I'm afraid of no man. So I see you. Hey, that could have been me, and the hardship that brought to Doc and I, and Doc and me, however I say it properly, you understand the message. Okay? So, think about it when this administration gets in and things start happening that are out of our control now. I hope you think about what you did and your choices. You have to think about your fellow man. That's what me and Doc do in our relationship. We think about each other. Okay. You got anything you want to say, babe?
No. Big of you to let everybody in on, I don't want to say our secret, but a happening that we went through and the Lord brought us through.
Yeah, he did.
So the Lord's going to bring us through. I'm not looking sad at January, 20th.
No.
We're going to move ahead.
Right.
It's just that we're going to expect things to be done right.
Right. Right.
I'm out.
Make sure you communicate with each other, that we communicate with each other. Have a plan. All right, y'all. You know our motto. You want to say it, babe?
Sure.
All right.
No one couple has a monopoly on love.
And
Do something for somebody else today.
today. All right, y'all. Mwah. Peace. I'm out.